Welcome everyone to another edition of Wizards Outlook. We got Cardo Dudley Jr. here, Raymond Lyons. I'm Wilson Tarpage here, and positive vibes for a second straight game. The Washington Wizards get back-to-back wins. Big fourth quarter needed in this one to take down the Spurs in San Antonio for the 118-113 win. It's back-to-back wins. They beat the Pistons on Saturday. Spurs tonight. Got a couple heavy hitters coming up, but focus on the immediate here and now. Ray, we'll start with you. Just your thoughts on them kind of sort of finding their way, like backing their way into closing the game out. It was kind of weird and wonky late in the fourth.
I mean, who would have thought that rebounding the basketball and playing defense would matter? I mean, we saw that twice now that they were able to kind of buckle down in the waning moments of the game and get a win. So Kuz had 11 rebounds, Gav had 13, then he had 8. That's the type of activity we need to see from them. And, kind of similar to the game against the Pistons, Jalen Duren, he did his fair share of damage on the boards, but they kind of contained everybody else. Same thing tonight. When Bayama had 11 rebounds, nobody else had more than 5. So that's just the little things that'll, kind of help them inch their way towards being consistent in some areas, man. And they just gotta keep up the fight. They shot well tonight, 53% from the field, 36% from 3, which is reasonable. Left a little food on the table from the free throw line. It was 17 for 24, but again, they won on the glass. They were consistent defensively down the stretch, and they were able to squeak out the win. I mean, they held them to 20 in the fourth quarter. That's a couple weeks ago. That's an unimaginable number when 35, 40-point quarters are the norm for them. So, I mean, just kudos to them for being able to execute down the stretch.
Cardell.
Yeah, big fourth quarter. I just think they out-executed Spurs down the stretch. That's really what it really came down to. Poole hit a big 3, from the corner as well as Koulibaly, and I think that gave him the cushion to kind of like just if they executed well on offense, they could pull out the game, especially on the road or whatnot. They also did a good job of, like what Ray said, stepping up defensively. Trey Jones, he had his moments or whatnot, points, 8 assists. Looking at it here, he was 0-4 in the fourth quarter. So not only did they kept him scoreless, he only had 2 assists. So he can orchestrate and get Wembanyama the ball. He couldn't get Vassell the ball to help them get going to scoring or whatnot. Because those were the 2 guys that were killing them all night, as well as Cedi Osman, who they also contained in the fourth quarter with 4 points, 2 of 5. So they're 3 guys that that pretty much killed them throughout the game for the most part in the fourth quarter. When they buckled down defensively, they kept them in check, and as a whole, they held the Spurs to 37% shooting in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, they shot 68% in the fourth quarter, including 3 of 6 from deep, with 2 big threes coming from Koulibaly and Jordan Poole. 7 assists on 13 field goals in that quarter. It was just huge. Like they actually looked like a sound basketball team in that quarter, which is encouraging, and which was great to see finally. Back against the wall, they're down. They got to fight back. And the only way they can fight back to get in this game is through defense. You know what I'm saying? Well, you got to score as well, but you got to get stops. If you exchange bucket for bucket, you're not going to win the game. So they got it done on both ends, man. And finally, I can't remember the last time they held a team to 20 points in a quarter. I got to do some digging. I got to do some research. It hasn't been many this season. But they did it, and they did it on the road, which is even more encouraging. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if they were at home, but you know, it's just better to see signs of them progressing towards being able to execute on both ends and being able to pull out the wins, which makes it even more frustrating that they've been able to do it for 2 straight games when it's like, where was this throughout the season? You see what I'm saying? So, but neither here nor there, we're going to keep it positive and keep it about tonight, man. You know, they stepped up when they needed to. They got the job done. And, you know, it was good to see. You know what I mean? I think Koulibaly, he's obviously motivated, you know, playing against his former teammate. You know, he was big off the bench, 13 points, 5 or 6, man. You know, on a night where nobody really shot the ball well outside of Gaff and Denny, you know, as far as percentage-wise. Yeah, and Poole had a pretty solid night or whatnot. His production off the bench was huge. And Marvin Bagley, what can we say about him? He's just been Mr. Consistent. You know what you pretty much going to get with him, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the little things. So they did the little things in the fourth quarter, and that's the reason why they were able to pull out the win.
As you guys mentioned, I think the biggest thing I was encouraged by was Cardell. You said that magic number in the fourth quarter. We are not used to seeing the number that low in the fourth quarter in terms of points given up, which speaks volumes because we've been talking about that about those numbers quite a bit in terms of not only what they score in quarters, but when they give up those huge quarters. And that was the difference between the win and the loss tonight, was getting stops in the fourth quarter, allowing you to outscore the other team by 11 in the fourth quarter. As Ray, as you mentioned, just them getting on the boards. I was also happy with that. I felt like they didn't take as many crazy 3-point shots tonight, which, again, give them credit. Like Cardell said, keep everything positive, which is why this is both frustrating, maddening, whatever words you want to use. So you do have the ability to show some discernment. Why? In other cases, is that not shown? But look, it's back-to-back wins. It is what it is. We know what type of year it's been. It's good to see him get back-to-back wins, and we know what they have coming up next. If you guys have nothing else to add on this game, talk about the player of the game for this one. Whoever wants to jump out there, go ahead and do so.
I'm gonna give it to Gav. Yeah, he had to deal with the alien on the other side. 16 to 13, man. He stepped up big. You know, 6 to 8 offensive rebounds, man. Sheesh. He was working. He was working. Without his production, they lose easily. That could have easily been a 30 and 20 game for Wembanyama. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it seemed like when Wembanyama caught his baby hook out the air and damn near flat-footed, it woke Gaff up. Like, damn, I gotta start playing, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So after that, he started balling, man. But he was huge. Like I said, without his production, they lose probably by double digits.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly, man. You know, just his impact on both ends, having to deal with what was on the other side, man. That was the difference in the game. You know, if he don't produce like he does, and you know, when Wembanyama was, I think he was 9 for 19. So, I mean, he did his part to get in his way and frustrate him. So yeah, Gaff gets the nod tonight.
All right, on to X Factor.
I'm rolling with Koulibaly. We know what we're gonna get from Marvin Bagley. He's been consistent since he became a Wizard. They needed somebody else to step up off the bench and score, and Koulibaly stepped up, man. You know, 13 points, 5 or 6, 2 or 2 from deep, 1 or 1 from the line. Hit a big 3 in the fourth that they absolutely needed, man. He kind of canceled out Keldon Johnson. You know, Marvin Bagley and Osmond kind of canceled each other out, and with bench point production, man. So again, you know, all about stepping up, man. Gafford, you know, he did it to try to battle Wembanyama. Koulibaly did it, you know, as a rookie on the road and whatnot, to try to offset what the Spurs were doing with their reserve production and reserve scoring as well. So I think he was big, especially late.
Right.
Yeah, I roll with Koulibaly as well. And they needed everything he gave tonight. Cardell pointed out the big shot at the end of the game. I mean, that's a big shot, especially for a rookie to hit. Again on the road in a game where they had to claw and scratch and fight their way back. Just for him to stay locked in, especially after he hasn't really been shooting that well recently after he started the season. A little hotter from 3-point range. Just didn't think about it, caught in rhythm, let it go, and it was one of the shots that kind of gave them the space they needed to close the game up.
All right, we'll get on to some comments. Appreciate y'all for getting in here and getting the comments in early. Start with a couple of comments from IG Wainwright 80. Shout out to you. He said, good win tonight. And he had MVP for the game. He agreed with you guys for, he said, landlord. So also showing Gaff some love coming from IG. Here we got Blizzy Baby. Good W for the Wizards. If we would have beat the Jazz, we would be on a 3-game winning streak, but I'll take 2. He's choosing to keep it positive as well.
That's all he could do at this point.
There's nothing wrong with that, right? Kersey said, what's good, brother? Got a string of comments. Bagley changing the culture, helping Gaff.
Calm down now. Calm down now. That the culture changed, and that's gonna take years.
That's like you said, keep it positive. I ain't gonna say what I'm about to say. Wizards got stops when you guys are talking about the fourth quarter. It did indeed happen.
Dudes always seem to do what they're supposed to do after somebody loses their job or after somebody gets traded. Why do they even need to come to that? They just figured out they needed to do that the last 2 games or something. I'm just saying, like, there's 2 championship players on the scene. They didn't figure that out before. I'm just saying, bro.
He said, bet your favorite numbers off the 2-game win streak. Not messing with you at all. He said, good win for them. It was, in fact, a good win. He said, sure, the fans say, see, it's West being gone. That's why they win it. Ray touched on this last game. Not commenting on none of that stuff right there. But it's good that they have back-to-back wins.
And they catching teams slipping because it's all-star break time. Yep. Dudes about ready to tap out. That's why you see dudes on the edge. They need a break, dog. That's what that is too. So. And like, man, I ain't trying to play hard. I'm already making my little all-star weekend plans. We got like a week and a half off. I'm dipping, disappearing.
Hey, dog, the body language on some of the top teams this past week has been horrendous around the league. Like, man, get me out of here vibes. Area 11T, with the mandate the owner put out, who do y'all think gets moved by the deadline? He also followed that up with, I'm going to let you guys think on that. Also, we were lucky tonight that Wemby doesn't fully know how to take over a game yet. His future is scary. So you guys can choose which one y'all want to tackle first.
Well, man, when you 9-37, it's not like the only player I can see being safe is Koulibaly because they drafted him. And obviously they traded for Bagley and like that. Man, to be honest, everybody else for the most part, not that I'm wishing they can go or whatever like that, but they probably being discussed. Just keeping it a buck. You 9-37. They got way all options, man. Because clearly what they have is not getting it done. So, people going like y'all just said, they're like West, it's all him and all that, but it's still indicative on the players because all right, y'all got a 2-game win streak. Y'all gonna do this early? That was just 1-2. That 4th quarter, y'all were down. They came back. They held them to 20 points. Oh, y'all couldn't move y'all feet when West was on the sideline? Oh, now all of a sudden y'all can do that because y'all know them heads about the road probably. So now y'all trying to play. You know what I'm saying? It's like they treated West like the substitute teacher now, and the teacher back, the principal teaching the class now, because the GM and all those guys up top, the president, they paying extra close attention now with the trade deadline looming. Now guys want to do their jobs. So that's all that is going on, man. You know what I mean? I don't take it. Look, good win, do what they need to do, but they could have been doing this. And that's the most part.
Going back to, like you said, what's been maddening and frustrating, there's no reason to be where you are record wise, short of like crazy injuries ravaging the roster. It's just unacceptable.
And as for Wemby, no brainer. He just got to get stronger. He's getting all the experience right now. Once he gets stronger and he can hold his position and he can start bullying people instead of them bullying him right now, yeah, it's over. Because even with that strength, it's not even just him bullying people in the paint. He's going to be able to sustain dominance throughout a game, game to game, season to season. And, the 3-point shoot, he's not shooting well, but we all know he can hit them. I think he's shooting in the 20% range. That's going to get up in the 30s. He's going to be faster. And he's going to be rotating over. You know what I mean? Instead of like tiptoeing and getting Gafford's shot, and then he gonna really be anticipating and grabbing that shit and be gone. It's going. You know what I'm saying? Even his teammates young. You know what I mean? He's gonna make it easy on them for them to get him the ball. I know a lot of people criticizing them not getting on the ball, but seeing them against the Wizards week and a half, 2 weeks ago, it's not just that. He's not strong enough to hold his position. So when he's trying to get the ball, guys are pushing him out, or they are fighting around him to deny. And it's kind of iffy. He, as big as he is, it's still kind of iffy because, man, they might bump him at the last minute. He all balanced. Now it's a turnover. And then Pop looking at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I can see sometimes they just taking a safer route. Like, nah, dog, unless I'm sure you got that position locked down, I'm not giving you the ball. So it's a combination of things. But nonetheless, man, look, we all know what's coming. You know what I mean? So you're about to see a whole lot of bigs just getting drafted for no reason. You know what I mean? The second round, 2 ways and stuff like that, because you don't need size. He's going to be dominant. It's going to be like he's going to be dominant in his way. I ain't going to say it's going to be Shaq-like, but remember when Shaq was dominant with the Lakers and all that? I mean, he was keeping centers employed that was clearly done. Couldn't play anymore because they needed them for fouls. And that's what they're going to need for this kid, man. And he's going to keep a lot of bigs employed because you don't want your big man, your star big man to foul out. You know, your reserve going to take a few, but then that third guy that probably shouldn't even be in the league anymore, go ahead, man. You know, we just need you to hold down for a couple minutes to the halftime coming, man. You know what I'm saying? He's just going to be a sparring partner, man. Just take the ass whooping. That's all you get paid for. That's your job. Just take the ass whooping so we can regroup and come at this kid in that second half because, I remember when Embiid went to work on him a couple weeks ago. People forget he still had like 30 himself.
That's the part of that got left out the entire discussion. I was like, he was fighting for his life against somebody who's damn near 300 pounds. He weighs the opposite of that, but he still gave him work back. Like, what y'all think the get back's gonna look like?
Hey, bro.
that's like, what I'm saying.
Like, bro, Vic is 210. There are guards bigger than and stronger than he is right now. So when that is 240, 245, when it gets to that, you see what Jan is doing, right? But he gonna be 7'4" and he can shoot and all. It's gonna get ugly, man. So they better get their lumps now, dog. That's all I'm saying. Just get it right and get it while you can, because when he figures it out, it's gonna be bad.
Like you said, what he brings at 230 is going to be hell. As soon as he's able to like you said, to sustain, can't reach and bop. You can't reach it. Shout out to Antonio Luna. Appreciate you, man. He said first time watching, awesome show. Go Spurs, go for sure. I'm sure you're very happy. You got another one of those special players. The rich get richer, right? Hey, man. We'll definitely be keeping eyes on how that things go.
Y'all love y'all some generational big man, huh?
Must be nice.
Send one to DC once in a while, man. It's all for the fish, man.
Share the wealth.
Yeah, man.
Area 11T said the Clippers should be fun on Wednesday.
Calm down. Like they beat the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio. See, this is what y'all do. They beat the Detroit Pistons and the San Antonio Spurs. Both bottom feeders just like them. Calm down.
I think he's saying it sarcastically. I think.
I hope he is.
I could be wrong. I think it's sarcasm, but
Calm down.
Yeah, because that's a whole different world right there. Like they in championship mode.
And then Kirksey was going back to what he was talking about. Now, well, not really the change of culture, bad choice of words, but it seems it helped the locker room.
They just added a talented player that's hungry. You know, that hasn't been playing a lot in Detroit, and he's eager to prove. Man, he got pride. Dude was the #1 player in high school, top pick out of college. You know, has bounced around the league. People writing him off. Didn't really play in Detroit. Probably felt he should have been playing in Detroit. You get an opportunity, he's making the most of it. That's what you're seeing. Yeah, and he's making people look back at right now. He's making people look at Detroit like, what's up with y'all up there? Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, it is what it is, man. And yeah, and also the Clippers, they just lost the Cavs, so they're going to be pissed on Wednesday. So I got a pretty good feeling to be back to reality.
And he said, "Yeah, it's sarcastic." He was saying, "Nah, we get all the star guards and talk about who they got to deal with in the building."
I get what he's saying. Gil, Wall, Bill. I mean, we had a couple, but they don't last long, you know. Once upon a time, we had Big Ben, Sheed, and C-Ware, and Juwan Howard, dog. That's as good as it got. Well, outside the 70s, with Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld senior. So, you know, but no, that was a whole generation ago. But in our lifetime, that's about as good as it got. C-Ware and all those. And, you know, I give Anton a prop. You got an all-star level, Anton Jameson. He put in work too, but it just don't last long. I'm talking like David Robinson and Tim and what this potential of Wembanyama could be, man, that's 10, 15 years of dominance. We haven't had a big like that.
Yeah, those are those pillars that last, like you said, decades. Like that hits a little different. Like think about how long the window was open. Like you had the end of David. David was a freak. I still don't think people give David the credit he deserves. It sucks. It's kind of a numbers game, bro. Like that was a golden era of bigs. Like it's stuff out there. A lot of very special bigs, but all of them were nice. It so happens like the two at the top of the food chain kind of had some memorable moments against David. That doesn't mean David wasn't special. Then you get the end of David and you walk right into Tim.
Man,
in that window.
I'm ready to eat now, dog. Oh, Charles, y'all gotta move over.
Tim came out of that thing just ready to go. And that's think about how long that thing lasted.
That's for 4 years of college you do. And that's what and for you youngers or casual fans don't understand, that's what we mean by league ready. That's what that is. When Tim came in, like he came in, so Dave Roberts like, here, young boy, you got the keys. I'm over here if you need me. Hey, I mean, he said that's on right away.
We talk about levels, right? That's the luxury they have over there. And you know, obviously, with the league in the space that is now, you get this freaking alien, and you got the what's it called? You get to count on the experience you had with the other two. Right? Like, come on, man. Shout out to you, Antonio Luna. Enjoy the next 15, 20 years, man. Enjoy it. Had a couple more comments. Had a rip shout out. Area 11T. So the one we could have got KP to stay or got him earlier.
Kristaps Porzingis?
Yeah.
Nah, they blew him. They was gonna blow it up. You know. Oh, you mean drafting them?
I guess, or maybe acquired him earlier.
Were the Wizards even up there at that time, high in the draft to get him? I gotta look back at that draft, but regardless, if you mean through free agency or something like that, man, like, nah, they blowing it up because even with KP, it wasn't gonna be enough to do any real damage.
Nah, they wasn't up there. He went fourth.
to New York.
Yeah. They
What
went
year,
19th.
what year was it?
It's 2015. They took Jerry and Grant at 19.
That was the Okafor. That was the Okafor, Kelly Oubre, Towns went number one.
Towns, Russell, Okafor, Porzingis, Hazonia.
They booed the shit off of Porzingis, New York.
Yeah.
That was bad. He took it like a champ.
He's talking about when he wanted to get out of NY, I guess, originally.
That was years ago, but the Wizards was jumping. They was in the playoffs now. So, yeah, they
was competing then. I don't think just things happen when they happen, man. And like right now, like Ray and Cardell said multiple times this year, it's about, for sure that you hit on the kid you took this year, right? You feel like you hit, people comfortable with that. It's about getting more folks like that in the building going forward and trying to find your guy. Mm-hmm. And whatever shape, position, whatever the guy comes in, you try to find a guy and surround him with more guys and go forward. But that's the ugly part of rebuilds.
But, that was the Gortat.
They was bumping.
That period, man. Yeah, they was bumping. They was walling them. If Wall didn't break his wrist, they would have went to these conference finals. They was rumbling. They was ready to go. He just got injured.
Yeah. I think, is that the year that he broke his wrist against the Hawks?
15, I think so.
During that period,
Yeah, so just the timing. But look, man, we appreciate you all. We'll check in with y'all Wednesday after they take on the Clippers. We'll see y'all a couple more times this week, obviously, but y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in. See y'all soon.